Have you ever felt the warmth of someone's love, and then watched it disappear like the sun setting on the coldest day of your life? What if I told you that losing a Leo isn't just losing a person? It's losing a light that once made your whole world feel alive. Leos aren't ordinary people. They're not just fire signs in your horoscope. They're protectors. They're believers. They're the ones who love you even when you don't love yourself. But here's a secret most people never realize. When you hurt a Leo, you don't just break their heart. You trigger something much bigger. You awaken karma itself. Because the universe listens when a Leo cries. And when you betray them, life has a way of taking that same pain and sending it back to you. In today's video, we're going deep into the soul of the Leo. Why hurting them leads to karmic consequences that most people never see coming. And why losing their love is like losing the sun itself. If you're a Leo, or someone who has loved a Leo, this message is for you. So before we begin, take a second to hit that subscribe button. Give this video a like if you've ever felt the power of a Leo's love. And share it with someone who needs to understand what they've lost. Now, get ready. Because today, we're unlocking the truth that even karma can't ignore. When a Leo loves you, it's not because they need you. It's because they choose you. That choice is something few people understand. You see, for a Leo, love isn't a game. It's not a strategy or a transaction where they give you a little and expect something in return. Their love is a reflection of how much they value themselves. Because when a Leo offers their heart, it's like they're offering a part of their own inner light. And not everyone deserves that light. But many people take it for granted. Imagine standing in sunlight every day. You feel warm, safe, energized. Then one day, the sun simply doesn't rise for you anymore. That's what happens when you hurt a Leo. Their light disappears from your world. Not out of cruelty, but out of self-respect. It's easy to mistake a Leo's affection as endless. They seem strong, confident, like they'll always be there. But here's where people misunderstand them. That strength, that loyalty, it's a decision they renew every single day. And once you break their trust, that decision ends. Think about this. How many times have you pushed someone away, assuming they'd always come back? How many times have you hurt someone who only wanted to see you happy? With a Leo, you might only get that chance once. A Leo's pride isn't about arrogance. It's their soul's armor. Their pride is what keeps them from crumbling when life gets heavy. It's what allows them to stand tall even when they feel broken inside. And when someone they love wounds that pride, it cuts deeper than most people realize. I once knew a woman named Sarah. She loved her partner like he was the center of her world. Supported him when no one else did. Cheered for him when he doubted himself. She gave everything, until one day he laughed at her dreams in front of his friends. Just one moment. One sentence. But in that moment, he shattered her pride. He thought she'd get over it. She didn't. Because for a Leo, their pride is not a wall to keep people out. It's the foundation of how they stand beside you. And once you damage that foundation, their heart starts pulling away, even when their smile stays. This is why hurting a Leo's pride is so dangerous. You're not just offending their ego. You're striking at the core of who they are. You make them question their worth. And a Leo questioning their worth is a soul starting to burn from the inside. But here's what's powerful. Leos don't stay broken. They rebuild. Stronger. Smarter. Quieter. And the next time they stand tall, you won't be standing beside them anymore. That silence? That absence? That's your karmic consequence. Not because they wanted revenge, but because they learned you no longer deserved their fire. Their love is pure. When a Leo loves you, it's without hesitation. They give you their energy, their time, their attention. And most of all, they give you their heart. Completely. No games. No manipulation. Their love is bold. Honest. Rare. And yet, so many people only realize how rare that love was after it's gone. I want you to think of someone who once believed in you, and now doesn't. Remember how that felt? That emptiness? That's what losing a Leo feels like. You might think you've moved on. But something inside you knows, the warmth is missing. That clarity they brought into your life. The way they made you believe in yourself when no one else did. Because when you hurt a Leo's heart, you're not just breaking a person. You're breaking a kind of light that wanted to heal you. Wanted to help you grow. Wanted to love you without asking for anything in return. And when you take that for granted, the universe sees it. Karma watches silently. And over time, you'll feel it. In your relationships. In your victories that no longer feel like wins. In your quiet moments, when the loneliness creeps in. That's when you'll realize you broke something sacred. And karma never lets that go unnoticed. But it's not just about the love you lost. It's about the person you pushed away. Leos are strong. But never confuse that strength with weakness. Just because they didn't react when you hurt them, doesn't mean they didn't feel it. They felt it. Deeply. But they stepped back. They watched. They processed. And when they saw your true colors, they didn't attack. They didn't scream. They simply started healing, without you. I've seen it happen. A Leo who once texted you every morning, stops replying. A Leo who once cheered your every success, goes silent. A Leo who once waited for your calls, no longer answers. And that silence? It hits harder than any words. That distance? It's heavier than anger. That's how a Leo fights back. Not by destroying you, but by rebuilding themselves. By shining without you. And here's where karma steps in. As they rise, life seems to lift them. New opportunities appear. New friendships form. They glow brighter. And you watch from the outside. At first, you might think they're faking it. But as time passes, you realize they're not. They're thriving. Without you. They're laughing, and it's real. They're happy, and you're not a part of it. That's the lesson. That's karma. You thought you won by hurting them. But in truth, you lost someone unforgettable. So ask yourself, is the apology you never gave worth the love you lost? Because when a Leo rises, the bridge back to their heart burns quietly behind them. And no matter how much you regret it, they'll be too far ahead to hear you call their name. When a Leo chooses to give you loyalty, it's not a casual decision. It's not something they hand out freely. Loyalty, to a Leo, is sacred. It's their soul saying, "You're safe with me." They defend you even when you're not in the room. They believe in your dreams, sometimes more than you believe in yourself. They stand by your side not because they have to, but because they want to. Because once you're in their heart, you become part of their world. And they'll protect that world like a lion guarding its pride. But here's where people often make a painful mistake. They assume that loyalty is endless. That no matter how they act, the Leo will always stay. Always forgive. Always fight for them. But the truth? Once you break that loyalty, once you show them that their trust was misplaced, their heart closes like a door. And that door wasn't meant to be slammed shut. I once watched a man lose his Leo wife not through some huge betrayal, but through small cracks in his honesty. Little lies. Broken promises. Apologies that came too late. And then, one day, she simply stopped fighting for him. She stopped waiting for him to change. He never understood why the house felt so cold after that. But she had already moved on, quietly, gracefully, and stronger than ever. That's the reality. You don't get second chances with a Leo's loyalty. You might still be in the same room. You might still hear their voice. But their heart? Their soul? Already gone. And what's worse, karma watches. Suddenly, you'll notice something shifting in your life. The people you thought would support you stop showing up. The opportunities you counted on start slipping away. You'll find yourself wondering why no one fights for you anymore. Why victories feel hollow. Why conversations feel colder. It's not magic. It's not coincidence. It's karma. Because when you show the universe you didn't value a loyal soul, life stops sending loyal souls your way. When a Leo trusts you, understand, that's not an ordinary trust. It's not a casual, I'll see what happens kind of trust. It's them opening their heart completely. It's them seeing something in you that made them believe. This person won't hurt me. They lower their guard, something they almost never do. They let you in, not just into their life, but into their soul. And that kind of trust? It's a privilege. But what happens when you break it? Maybe you lied. Maybe you hid something. Maybe you just didn't value what they gave you. Whatever it was, that moment changed everything. And even if they forgive you, even if they say, let's move forward, deep inside, something shifts. I've seen it. I've lived it. A Leo who once shared everything with you, suddenly starts holding back. Not to punish you, but because they're protecting themselves now. Their warmth starts to cool. Conversations feel a little emptier. The spark in their eyes, the one that once lit up when they saw you, fades. And here's where karma moves quietly. Not all at once. Not in grand, dramatic gestures. But slowly. You'll notice people pulling away from you. Doors that once opened easily now seem closed. You'll feel restless, uncertain, disconnected. Why? Because when you betray someone who opened their soul to you, the universe mirrors that energy back into your life. What you broke, now breaks around you. That's why hurting a Leo's trust isn't just a personal mistake. It's a spiritual consequence. Because their trust wasn't just trust. It was their heart saying, I believe in you. And once you shatter that belief, no apology can rebuild it the same way. Dignity. It's a quiet thing. It doesn't shout. It doesn't beg. It doesn't chase. And for Leos, dignity is everything. They carry it like a silent crown. They don't plead for love. They don't fight to be respected. Because deep down, they know their worth. When you hurt a Leo, don't expect tears and desperate calls. Don't wait for a dramatic breakdown. What you'll see is silence. Distance. A quiet goodbye that will hurt more than any fight ever could. Because when a Leo realizes you don't value them, they leave. Not with anger, but with dignity. And here's the painful truth. You probably won't notice the shift at first. You'll assume they're just giving you space. That things will go back to normal. But days will turn into weeks. Calls will stop. Messages will fade. And eventually, you'll realize they're not coming back. Not because they don't care, but because they care about themselves too much to stay where they're not respected. And life? Life notices when you take that dignity for granted. The universe starts teaching you what it feels like to be unseen, to be overlooked, to be ignored, just like you did to them. That's karma. Quiet, slow, but inescapable. Because Leos never lower themselves to win someone back. If you're not fighting for them, they'll stop standing beside you. And when that realization hits, it's already too late. Now, think about this. How many people in your life are loving you silently, without asking for anything in return? How many of them would still be there if you stopped appreciating them? Leos love big. They give without keeping score. They support you not because they want recognition, but because it's who they are. When they choose someone, they pour their heart into that connection. Not to impress. Not to manipulate. But simply because that's what their soul tells them to do. But when you hurt that, when you lie, cheat, or simply drift away, you don't just hurt a person. You destroy something rare. You break an unspoken promise of care. And worst of all, you show the universe that you couldn't value someone who gave you everything and asked for nothing. And karma doesn't let that imbalance last. Slowly, but surely, your life starts to feel emptier. Your confidence starts to crack. You wonder why joy feels out of reach. Why the laughter doesn't feel the same. Why victories feel less meaningful. It's because you turned your back on someone who once made you feel whole, without asking for anything in return. You betrayed a rare kind of love. And the universe always rebalances what's been disrupted. This is why hurting a Leo echoes back into your life, long after they've moved on. Because the universe protects those who love with a pure heart. And if you took advantage of that heart, karma will make sure you learn how it feels to be taken for granted, too. And if you're starting to think this is intense, you're right. But what's coming next will reveal the most painful, the most profound, and the most controversial truths about losing a Leo. Stay with me. You're about to understand why their absence can change your entire life. Strength. When you think of strength, maybe you imagine loud moments. Big victories. Dramatic comebacks. But with a Leo, strength looks different. It's quieter. It's the moment they keep walking after being pushed down. It's the silence they hold while their heart is breaking. It's the way they stand up every morning, even when their soul feels heavy. That's Leo strength. It doesn't scream. It endures. When you hurt a Leo, you might think you've destroyed them. You might even believe they'll fall apart without you. But that's not how their story ends. A Leo will grieve, yes. They'll cry, though probably when no one is watching. But after that? They rise. They rebuild. And they do it without needing your apology. I remember watching someone I loved, a true Leo, get betrayed by their closest friend. It broke them. At least, that's what it looked like at first. But within months, they transformed. New career. New friends. A new version of themselves that burned brighter than ever. And the person who betrayed them? Left watching from a distance. Regret in their eyes. Silence in their heart. Because once a Leo heals, you don't get to stand beside their light anymore. That's the karmic twist. You thought they'd stay broken. Instead, they outgrow you. And here's where most people miss the point. That love you lost wasn't just affection. It was soul-level love. A Leo doesn't love halfway. They don't love with conditions. When they give their heart, it's all or nothing. It's raw. Honest. Pure. It's the kind of love that sees you when you can't even see yourself. They'll believe in your potential long before you do. They'll cheer you on from the shadows. They'll hold space for you when no one else does. So when you betray that love, when you treat it like it was ordinary, you don't just lose a person. You lose warmth. You lose belief. You lose a kind of presence that, deep inside, you know you'll never find again. And when that love turns to silence, when the attention becomes absence, it stings in a way nothing else can. Suddenly, your victories feel quieter. Your good days feel colder. Why? Because the person who loved you from their soul isn't there to share them anymore. That's karma working. Even if you don't realize it. You'll crave that warmth again. But the universe doesn't replace that love easily. And deep down, you'll carry the knowledge that you lost something most people never even find. That's why hurting a Leo who loved you completely stays with you forever. And then comes the hardest truth. You didn't just lose their love. You hurt someone who only wanted to see you shine. A Leo doesn't compete with those they love. They don't try to overshadow you. In fact, they do the opposite. They celebrate you. They push you forward. They become your biggest fan, even when you don't believe in yourself. So imagine how deeply it cuts when the person they supported chooses to hurt them. That betrayal isn't just personal. It's soul deep. It's confusing. It makes them question why their love wasn't enough. Why the person they cheered for chose to hurt them in return. And while you move on thinking they'll eventually come back, the universe begins its work. Slowly, the energy shifts. Your brightest moments begin to feel emptier. The applause in your life sounds quieter. The celebrations feel dull. Because the one person who genuinely wanted you to win has left your story. And you pushed them away. This is where karma reveals its quiet lesson. Life doesn't punish you loudly. It simply removes the people who once made you feel unstoppable. The energy that once lifted you, now gone. That's why betraying a Leo cuts your own life in ways you won't understand until it's too late. You didn't just lose a person. You lost the force behind your own victories. And here's something few people admit. Even Leos, the confident, radiant, fearless souls, even they can be made to doubt themselves. When someone they love starts treating them like they're not enough, when their warmth is ignored, their light dismissed, even a Leo can question their worth. And when that happens, you haven't just hurt them. You've broken a part of their identity. You've made them wonder if their fire is worth sharing at all. That damage isn't just sadness. It's betrayal at the core of who they are. Because a Leo's confidence isn't fake. It's not a show. It's something they build daily, through every small victory. Every quiet moment of self-belief. And when you, the person they trusted, make them feel small, that betrayal shakes them to their foundation. But karma doesn't let that energy stay unbalanced. What you projected onto them comes back to you. Slowly, your own confidence starts to fade. You begin questioning yourself in ways you never did before. Opportunities feel harder to grasp. Life feels heavier. Why? Because you dimmed the light of someone who only wanted to shine beside you. And Leos? They heal. They reclaim their light. But by then, you're no longer welcome near their fire. You become the person they had to outgrow. And watching them thrive, knowing you're no longer part of their story, that's the punishment you gave yourself. So remember, before you push someone away, before you break their trust, before you betray the one who cheered for you, ask yourself, are you ready to live without their light? Because when a Leo loves you, they make life warmer, brighter, fuller. But once that love is gone, it leaves a cold that no one else can fill. And if you think this is where the story ends, you're wrong. Because the final 3 truths I'm about to share will reveal the deepest, most controversial, and most soul-shaking reasons why hurting a Leo is never just a mistake, it's a life-altering loss. Stay with me. What comes next changes everything. Fire is beautiful. It warms you. It lights your way. But if you disrespect it, that same fire burns. That's the truth people forget about Leo. Their love feels like sunlight, gentle, steady, comforting. It makes you feel safe. But deep inside every Leo, there's something more powerful than comfort. There's fire. Real, consuming fire. And when you take their love for granted, when you ignore their loyalty, when you cross their boundaries thinking their kindness will save you, that fire awakens. At first, you won't see it. Leos don't rage easily. They're patient. They're observant. They give you more chances than you deserve. But when that fire finally rises, it doesn't roar. It destroys silently. One day you'll realize they've burned the bridge between you. And you'll stand there, alone, staring at the distance they created. Wondering when it happened. Wondering why you didn't see the flames before it was too late. I've seen it myself. A friend who thought his Leo girlfriend would never leave. She always forgave him. Always believed in him. Until one day, she didn't. She stopped calling. Blocked his number. Never looked back. And he stood there, confused. Why? Because her fire had done its work. Quietly. Completely. She didn't need to shout. She needed to move on. And that's what Leo fire does. It clears away what no longer serves their life. Including you. And that's the moment when karma steps in. Suddenly, you miss the warmth that once felt ordinary. But by then, it's already gone. But here's something most people never realize. Leos hide their pain. They're strong, remember? Too strong to show weakness. When you hurt them, they won't always tell you. You might think you didn't hurt them at all. You might assume they're fine. That your words didn't cut that deep. That your actions didn't leave scars. But behind their smile, they bleed. Leos cry alone. They suffer silently. They carry the weight of heartbreak behind closed doors. Why? Because they don't want you, or anyone else, to see them broken. That's their pride talking. That's their dignity in action. But don't mistake that silence for healing. The universe hears their unspoken pain. Karma listens to the tears they never let fall in public. And life always answers. Not through punishment, but through reflection. You might not notice at first. But slowly, people in your life stop opening up to you. Opportunities close. You'll start to crave the energy that Leo once gave you so easily. You'll search for someone who listens. Someone who supports, someone who glows like they did, and you'll find no one quite matches. That's the price of causing silent pain. Pain you didn't even know you created. The universe doesn't forget. And neither does your soul. Now imagine this. A Leo lets you into their world. Their inner circle. Their safe place. Not everyone gets that access. In fact, very few people do. When they let you in, it's because their soul feels safe with you. They trust you not to hurt them. Not to betray that closeness. But when you do, they don't rage. They don't fight. They retreat. Suddenly, the warmth is gone. The conversations are polite, but empty. The doors that once opened easily are locked. And you're standing on the outside, wondering what happened. Wondering why everything feels so cold. That's how a Leo protects themselves. They build walls where there were once doors. And no matter how hard you knock, you won't get back in. I knew a Leo man once who was deeply in love. He trusted too fast. Gave too much. And when he was betrayed, he didn't argue. He didn't beg. He simply disappeared. She kept trying to reach him. But he never responded. Because once a Leo shuts you out, it means the wound went too deep. And here's the cruel part. They still remember you. They still carry the memories. But they'll protect their heart before they ever let you near it again. And karma? It makes sure you feel what it's like to be locked out of someone's soul. You'll meet new people. But no one will let you in quite like Leo did. No one will love you as purely. No one will hold your heart the same way. And that loneliness? That emptiness? That's your karmic lesson. The final truth of this chapter is perhaps the harshest. When a Leo loves you, you're not just a friend or a partner. You're part of their pride. Your family. You're someone they protect, defend, and fight for. They love like lions. Fierce. Loyal. All in. But lions also know when it's time to expel a threat. Betray their loyalty, and Leo doesn't hesitate. They remove you. Not because they want to hurt you, but because they recognize you're no longer safe for their peace. You're no longer safe for their heart. You're not part of the pride anymore. And that, for a Leo, is final. Once you're seen as a threat, you're gone. And karma agrees with their choice. Suddenly, you'll find yourself cut off from support, from affection, from unconditional love. You'll miss the protection Leo once gave you, even in silence. You'll feel it every time life gets hard and there's no one standing behind you like they once did. You'll notice the absence when you realize no one admires you like they once did. No one looks at you with eyes that saw your best, even in your worst moments. Because when a Leo removes you from their circle, the universe follows. It stops sending you people who love like they did. And you're left searching for warmth in a world that now feels colder. And that's why hurting a Leo is never just about the past. It's about the future you lose without them. Now, you might think you've heard the worst of it. But what comes next? The last 3 truths? They're the most personal, the most painful, and the most life-changing revelations of all. These are the lessons that most people never recover from, and you're about to hear why. Sometimes, the harshest truth is this: a Leo doesn't need the person who hurt them. It might shock you, especially if you thought they depended on you. Because when you're loved by a Leo, it feels like they revolve around you. Their attention is so complete, their loyalty so deep, that you start believing they'll never walk away. But here's what most people don't realize. A Leo may love you deeply, but they love themselves more. When you hurt them, they'll suffer. Of course they will. They'll cry, they'll break, they'll feel lost. But the moment they realize you don't deserve their love anymore, everything changes. They won't beg. They won't chase. They won't even look back. They'll pick themselves up, piece by piece, and start rebuilding. Without you. At first, you won't believe it. You'll think it's temporary. You'll wait for the message, the call, the apology. But it won't come. Because by then, they've remembered who they are. And when they do, karma starts working. You'll see them thriving, smiling, laughing. But you'll be on the outside now. Watching them heal. Watching them grow. Watching them shine without you. And that moment, that realization that they don't need you anymore, it hits harder than any revenge ever could. That's the quiet power of Leo. They don't punish you. They simply stop needing you. And once that happens, you're just a memory they've already outgrown. But perhaps the most painful lesson comes when you realize this: you had their admiration. Leos don't admire just anyone. If they looked at you with eyes full of light, it meant they saw something extraordinary in you. They believed in your dreams. They lifted you up when you doubted yourself. They were your biggest fan. And now? You're just a dull memory. That sparkle you once saw in their eyes when they looked at you? Gone. Replaced with silence. Indifference. Not anger. Not hate. Just nothing. And there's no worse punishment than being forgotten by someone who once thought you were exceptional. I've seen this. I've lived this. A man who once had a Leo by his side lost her because he stopped appreciating her. And when she left, he didn't just lose her presence. He lost the mirror that reflected back the best version of himself. Because that's what Leo's admiration does. It makes you feel alive. It makes you believe in your own light. But when you lose it, life feels dimmer. Victories feel smaller. Confidence starts to fade. And no one else can fill that gap. No one else reflects your soul the way they did. That is karma's final lesson. Not rage. Not revenge. Just the slow, quiet emptiness of knowing you're no longer special to the one person who once saw magic in you. And that silence, that absence, is forever. So now, let's breathe together for a moment. Because maybe, as you listened, you saw yourself in these words. Maybe you're the Leo who's been hurt. Or maybe, you're someone who lost a Leo, and only now understands what that loss really means. Either way, remember this. Leo love is rare. Leo loyalty is sacred. And once it's gone, once the light goes out, it doesn't return. Not because Leos are cruel, but because they finally remembered their worth. And now, it's your turn to remember yours. Don't take real love for granted. Don't mistake loyalty for weakness. And don't wait until the fire burns out to realize how much warmth you had. If this message touched something inside you, if you felt seen, understood, or inspired, consider subscribing to this channel. There's more to discover. More stories. More truths about human connection, astrology, and the hidden patterns that shape our hearts. And if you know someone who needs to hear this, someone who's lost their light, or someone who once stood in Leo's warmth, share this video with them. You might help them heal. Thank you for being here. For listening. For opening your heart. In the next videos, we'll dive even deeper into the soul of each zodiac sign, the psychology behind love and loss, and how you can grow stronger after every heartbreak. Until then, protect your fire. And never forget who you are.